Alright, what's up? It's Richie here with Statifying Football. This is week 5 of the 2020 college football season. These are the 3:30 games. Go check out my noon games. And later on, if you want to know the college game day, the primetime game. This one, Texas A&M and Alabama. A&M didn't look very good in a win over Vanderbilt. Only beat them 17-12. Kellen Mond, 189 passing and a touchdown. Spiller, 117 rushing yards. They did turn it over 3 times. They can't do that against Alabama. Alabama did look good against Missouri. They kind of looked like pre-Tua, right? Like, their defense played stout. Their offense played just well enough. Mac Jones, 249 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris, 98 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 8 catches, 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defense had 3 sacks and 2 turnovers. I don't think this is going to be close. I think Alabama destroys Texas A&M. And more so because I think Texas A&M is not very good. And I mean, Alabama, they're a national title contender, but it's more about Texas A&M right now that they're not very good. All right, then you got North Carolina and Boston College. North Carolina has not played since that, week 1 victory over Syracuse. They won that one 31-6. Sam Howell, 295 passing, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. They put up 460 yards, but turned it over 3 times. Defense had 7 sacks in that game. Boston College, they had to come from behind to beat a strong Texas State team this year, stronger than they normally are. Texas State won. Phil Jerkovic, 210 passing, a touchdown, a pick, plus 2 rushing. Defense had 5 sacks. This is kind of classic offense-defense. I think North Carolina should be ready for this game, and I'm going to say North Carolina. They may not roll in this game. They're favored by 14, and maybe a little bit close than that, at least for most of the game, and maybe they pull away late, but I'll go North Carolina there. All right, USF, they're 1-1. They're playing Cincy. USF, they lost their last game to Notre Dame, 52-0. Really, they did terrible. Only 231 yards of offense. They didn't do anything. Cincy beat a good Army team, 24-10. Desmond Ridder, 258 passing, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. I'm going to go Cincy here. Cincy is a strong American athletic team. USF so far is not. I have a hard time seeing an upset there, so I'll go Cincy. All right, Oklahoma State against Kansas. Oklahoma State had a tough win against West Virginia, 27-13. Illingworth came in passing 139 and pick, but it was really about their running game. They had 2 guys go over 100 rushing yards. L.D. Brown, 103 rushing yards and a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard, 101 rushing yards and a touchdown. Defensively, had 5 sacks, 2 turnovers, and a fumble return touchdown. Kansas, they lost big to Baylor, 47-14. They had 10 penalties in the game. They did run for 169 yards, so maybe they can get something there going. I'll go Oklahoma State here, but I think this may be a little bit closer, mainly because Oklahoma State has been struggling, especially offensively, but I'll still give them the win. Memphis and SMU, this is one of the games I'm looking forward to all weekend. Last year, if anybody saw that game, College Game Day was there. Memphis beat them, and it was like, 56-54 or some crap like that. It was like fucking awesome. I expect this to be about the same. Memphis, I want to know, they haven't played since their first game against Arkansas State. They won that one 37-24. Brady White, 280 passing, 4 touchdowns. Rod Clark, 105 rushing and a touchdown. Sean Dykes, 10 catches, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. They had 502 yards of offense, 12 penalties. They can't do that against SMU. SMU will make them pay. Defensively, they had 3 sacks and 3 turnovers. They got to do that against SMU. SMU 3-0. They beat Stephen F. Austin 50-7. Buechele, 141 passing, touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Ulysses Bentley, 104 rushing and 2 touchdowns. T.J. McDaniel, 104 rushing yards himself. They had 432 yards in that game and had 4 sacks. This is a really, really tough one for me to pick because I've seen 3 games of SMU so far. I've only seen the one of Memphis. They looked fine against Arkansas State, but still kind of struggled. I'm going to go... God, I can't go... I'll go Memphis here. This one really just could go either way. It's kind of a coin flip, but I'll just give Memphis the benefit of the doubt. All right, then you got Texas Tech and Kansas State. Texas Tech almost pulled off an upset against Texas. They had a 15-point lead late and lost in overtime 63-56. Alan Bowman showed what he can do when he's healthy. 331 passing, 5 touchdown passes. He did throw 3 picks, which partially led to the loss. Roderick Thompson, 104 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 turnovers in the game. Defense had a fumble return touchdown. Kansas State had a huge upset against Oklahoma, 38-35. Quarterback Skylar Thompson, 334 passing, 1 passing touchdown plus 3 rushing touchdowns. Deuce Vaughn, 4 catches, 129 yards. Defensively, had 3 sacks and forced 4 turnovers in this game. Like Big 12, true Big 12 style, I expect this to be a shootout. But I'm actually going to go Texas Tech here because the Big 12 is just weird this year. They're losing the games they probably shouldn't be losing or whatever. So I'll go Texas Tech there. All right, Charlotte, Florida Atlantic. Both teams had games postponed last weekend. Charlotte, their last game, they lost to App State. They haven't played since that game. They lost to App State 35-20. Chris Reynolds, only 11 or 30 passing, 140 yards, and 2 interceptions. Not very good there. Trey Harbison, a grad transfer from Northern Illinois, ran for 87 yards and a touchdown. They did have a kick return touchdown and forced 3 turnovers. Whereas Florida Atlantic, they had their game last week postponed. So this is their first game of the year. They only have 10 returning starters. They have a new head coach in Willie Taggart, but they do have a really good quarterback in Chris Robinson coming back. 3,701 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, and 6 picks. They were number 1 in nation in turnover margin last year. This could be a bit of a shootout. It's hard to go. I'm not sure really who to go with, so I'll give the edge to Florida Atlantic just because I guess they're fresh. I don't really know who to go with there. I'll go FAU. All right, Virginia Tech and Duke. Tech, first game, they beat NC State. They looked really good, even though they had 23 players inactive. They still beat NC State pretty easily, 45-24. Braxton Burmeister started, 106 passing yards and 46 rushing. Then Quincy Patterson came in, passed for 75 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ran for 1. Herbert, 104. O'Khalil Herbert, 104 rushing yards and a touchdown. They ran for 314 as a team. Had 6 sacks and forced 2 turnovers. Duke lost to Virginia 38-20. Chase Bryce did not have a good game at quarterback. 16 of 36, 246, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. They had 7 turnovers in that game. They did force 3. If they want to beat Virginia Tech, they're going to have to do that. I'm not sure that'll happen. I'm going to see Virginia Tech win, and win pretty big in this one. All right, Ole Miss and Kentucky. Ole Miss did lose 51-35 against Florida, but they put up 35 points and over 600 yards of offense. Matt Corral did really well at quarterback, 395 passing and 3 touchdowns. Eli Moore went off for 10 catches, 227 yards. They did give up 642 to Florida. Kentucky's offense sucks comparatively, but they suck. Kentucky lost 29-13 to Auburn. Terry Wilson was okay, 239, a touchdown and pick, plus 42. They turned over 3 times. I wouldn't be surprised if Ole Miss just destroys them. People are way too high in Kentucky, and they are not that good. All right, 1AA Jacksonville State against FSU. FSU is terrible this year. This may be their only win of the season, and I'm not exaggerating if you look at their schedule and how bad FSU is, at least right now. They got killed by Miami 52-10. They had 3 quarterbacks combined for 179 passing yards, 3 interceptions there. They should be able to get by Jacksonville State. If not, I'm sorry, Seminole fans. All right, Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee State. This should be a shootout. Both teams haven't won a game this year. Western Kentucky lost their last game to Liberty 30-24. Pigram passed from 1 inning, won 3 touchdowns, ran for 74. Middle Tennessee finally got their offense going. They lost in a close shootout to UTSA 37-35. Asher O'Hara, 372 passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, plus 61 rushing. Jaron Pierce, 7 catches, 107 yards. They put up 563 yards of offense. This will be close. Man, I'm not sure who to go with here. I'll give the slight edge. Western Kentucky is favored. I'll go with Western Kentucky until Middle Tennessee shows me otherwise. Their offense did play well, like I said, but I'll go Western Kentucky. All right. Then the final noon one, Navy and Air Force. Air Force is playing for the Commander-in-Chief trophy, and they're going to come back later for the Mountain West. When they start playing again, Navy's won their last game where they come from behind win against Tulane. They were down 24-0, then won 27-24. Dalen Morris, 139 passing and a pick. Jamal Carruthers, 127, and a touchdown, and Jamal Carruthers, 127 rushing. Air Force, this is their first game of this year. They're 11-2. They only have 9 returning starters, but one of them is their quarterback. He passed for 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns and 6 picks, and ran for a whole bunch of yards because they're triple option. They have Caden Remsburg back, who ran for 1,050 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. This should be a pretty close game. I'm going to give Air Force, this is their first game, but Navy's played a couple. I'll give Air Force the edge here because of their quarterback play. So check out my other videos for my primetime games. Peace.